the Workforce Connections podcast, where we discuss workforce development in Southern Nevada. Here's your host.
Hello, and welcome to our Workforce Connections podcast. I am Tina Quigley, President and CEO of the Las Vegas Global Economic Alliance. That's a lot of words. Basically means the Economic Development Agency. I am here with my friend and mentor and colleague, Executive Director Michael Brown of the Governor's Office of Economic Development. So
Thank you.
Welcome,
it's
Director.
great to be here. And congratulations on taking on the leadership of this organization. We're really happy to have you there.
I appreciate it. And you have been there for me from the very beginning and making sure that I got off to a strong start. So just a little bit of kudos for Michael Brown. He's been a great mentor, and he's been really good to Southern Nevada. So
thank you.
I have some questions for you.
I hope I have the answers.
Are you ready? So you and I and our communities have been talking a lot recently about sustainable economic development.
Yes.
In fact, that's one of the first things you brought up to me when I was considering this position, that that's something we need to talk about. What does that mean to you? What does the term or phrase sustainable economic development mean to you, and in particular here in Southern Nevada?
Well, here in Southern Nevada, we have a definite need to diversify the workforce here. We have a strong gaming industry. We have this emerging entertainment sports industry that's just amazing. But we have the opportunity, because of our proximity to the Pacific ports and to California, to really expand, as we are expanding, in advanced manufacturing, logistics, distribution. We also have a public policy need to expand in the area of health and health services. But we also have the opportunity to grow our creative economy and possibly even expand the film economy here. But we have to do that within the constraints of water right now. We've got to understand that everyone we bring here, the first question I ask, and I assume your team is asking, is what is your consumptive use on water? And then we can have the conversation from there. But we need to do this because, our gaming industry hit peak employment, I believe, in 2006. And, with automation and innovation that's going on there, we've got some displaced workers from the pandemic that we need to find new opportunities for. We need to continue to strengthen that industry, but we need to hedge it in these other sectors, all in the rubric of making sure it fits with the effect of climate change and water.
Isn't that interesting? I think that it's been astounding to me how large an ecosystem economic development is, how it relates to our communities, how it relates to our natural resources, our governance structures, our diversification of industries. It is truly a comprehensive.
When I took this job, I asked for just give me a chart of all the economic development agencies and our assorted sister agencies like Workforce Connections, and it spread to 2 pages. I was expecting like a half-page chart,
right.
But officially I have 80 regional economic development organizations that implement the state program. My job, first and foremost, is to have a statewide program and help manage the system, but it's organizations like yours that's really doing the work here.
Well, thank you. Which brings me to another question related to the Governor's Office of Economic Development relationship with a Workforce Connections or with workforce training. What is the relationship there, and where do you consider it in terms of importance?
Coming in from the private sector, it's been very interesting because one of the things I discovered quickly was that state government, by its heritage, is a very siloed institution. 3 branches of government, 6 constitutional officers, and 20 cabinet agencies. So what I've had to do is build a whole series of bilateral relationships, first at the cabinet level. So I sit down once a month with the director of DETR, the Department of Employment, Rehabilitation Training, and the Governor's Office of Workforce Innovation, and then I have a workforce staffer to kind of coordinate the state policy. And then locally, we turn to the team here at Workforce Connections and to your team to figure out what we need to do locally. One of the things I also implemented was I meet with all the university presidents once a quarter and the chancellor and walk through the workforce issues there too. Workforce Connections, though, we are going forward, as you know, with your group in the lead for a significant economic development administration grant.
Yeah, that's an exciting opportunity.
Very important to all of us. And I was so pleased because Jaime and Irene Bustamante Adams, boy, they stepped right up and were significant contributors to that application. And we're a finalist. We'll see.
I know, we will. So when companies come to you or even when you're out marketing to companies to try and bring them there, where does workforce development and workforce availability kind of lay in the genre of
what we discover is companies have usually done an initial sort. And the first question they want to talk to us about today is infrastructure. Before the pandemic, they wanted to talk about incentives and abatements.
Okay.
Now that they're having to sort out their supply chain and their e-commerce and all of their internals, they want to talk about infrastructure as it relates to logistics. Then they want to talk about quickly, right behind it is workforce.
Okay.
They want to know what the workforce here is, what the availability is, because these guys, they're currently busy running a factory. They've got deadlines to meet. And they want to make sure that if they put something here, that it will come together.
And what types of areas, what types of industries do you think we have strengths in terms of workforce development? And where do you think there are opportunities for us to grow in order to attract and diversify?
Well, diversify is a good word because, we are a highly diverse state. Some would say we're a majority-minority state, 35% Hispanic, 15% African-American, 10% Asian, and then our Native Americans. Companies are looking for that diverse workforce. They're also looking for energized workers. And Irene Bustamante-Adams, one day in a meeting with a corporation, she says, there's about 15% of Nevadans that were born in another country and they've come here. She said they left their country to stake out a future in America. They want to work.
Yeah.
They want to achieve. And so we have a really energized workforce here that wants to succeed.
And that is kind of fun, the fact that we do have a trainable, skillable workforce, a large workforce, what do I want to say, constituency here. Yes. Whereas some of our other competitor regions, Salt Lake, Denver, Phoenix, their unemployment levels are so low that it is tough to attract companies and saying, we have a workforce that's ready and available for you.
The immediate sweet spot in the Nevada economy are workers that need more than a high school education and less than a 4-year degree. So you hear Governor Sisolak talking about apprenticeships and community colleges, because right now that's our workforce need. And that's what we're focused on and going here in Southern Nevada to try to fulfill. But at the same time, and in parallel with that, we need to work with the university system then for the kind of jobs that will keep engineers and those with a 4-year plus degree here also.
Right.
Utah went through this very same evolution, but it started in the 1980s.
Yeah,
we started in the 2010, 2011.
Yeah.
So we'll get there. I mean,
Right.
Las Vegas is a very resilient community. We'll get there.
Yeah, we have been resilient, I agree. And I got to tell you, I think part of it is due to our workforce and part of it is due to our infrastructure. There's things that we have done in our past that have made us be able to survive. I have a question. You mentioned that you oversee 8 different regional development authorities. Tell me, so there's got to be a difference between the 2 urban areas and the rurals. What are some of the differences in?
We're the 7th largest state in the nation. And the Brookings Institute just put out a study that basically said there's 3 Nevadas. There's Northern Nevada, Minden, Gardnerville, Carson City, Reno, which is really connected in all ways today to Sacramento, San Francisco, and Silicon Valley. And so we've seen a large tech infusion there. And that community will just continue to grow. And frankly, it has actually diversified away from its gaming base and has built a base in these new industries. I don't expect that to happen in Southern Nevada because this is the world capital for gaming and entertainment. Rural Nevada is about natural resources, mining, renewable energy, and there you have the tyranny of distance. Everything is far away from each other. And until we can improve broadband out there, your options are still in that area. But Governor Sisolak and I and State Senator Brooks, we prioritized renewable energy projects out there. It's where our lithium opportunities are out there. And then the, I almost say indigenous gold and silver industries and copper are out there. And unlike other states, we have a very healthy rural economy. Many states, their rural economies are struggling. So we just need to keep that healthy and get broadband out there. And then Southern Nevada, And Southern Nevada right now, our challenge is the opportunities are knocking on the door, and we've got to get the infrastructure and workforce in place to take advantage of those opportunities.
So this Build Back Better grant, one of the neat things about it is that it truly pulled our region together, which was a first for us, right? So we've got the cities and the county and higher ed and LVGEA, UNLV, everybody together for the sake of advancing our target industry, advanced manufacturing. Kind of give us some thoughts on that grant.
When we put this process together, and it was before you came to LVGEA, we assembled a team of GOAD LVGEA staff, Bo Bernhardt from UNLV, and then Irene and Jaime here from Workforce Connections. And, back east, I like to row, and the key to rowing is to be in sync, and everybody needed to be in sync. And then we added the 4 local government representatives to participate in the process. And we came up with, about 8 viable ideas that we believe will take the region forward. And it was all done by Zoom, and we were on a Zoom call at one point. And this whole area of workforce is a vocabulary one has to learn. And so Jaime did a really, really good job of educating us on what needed to be done in this space. But then on that very last call, he looked at the Zoom, and there we were in all our little Brady Bunch boxes, and he said that this was the first time that he knew of in Southern Nevada where all of these interests were working together and in complete alignment together. And that's a big hurdle to have gotten across.
That fills my heart, too. That makes, the fact that we all came together to champion for something that's going to be right for our entire region long into the future is...
Yeah, and we're going to hold that together. I assume we're going to win the grant. If we don't, we'll get the group together and try for another one.
All right. Count me in.
Thank you.
I have one more question for you.
Certainly.
It's kind of a fun one.
Yeah.
What do you think the Las Vegas economy looks like in 30 years?
Flying cars.
Okay.
No.
I think autonomous vehicles. I don't know about flying. And what industries will be thriving and why? Who will we look like?
The Raiders and the stadium and the Golden Knights and what's happening in the sports economy. I mean, we're just at the beginning of that, and particularly as women's sports continue to rise in profile. I went to an Aces game recently. We are really going to be the world capital in entertainment and sports, and we're going to just see lots of big events come here and compliment Steve Hill and the work he does over at the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Bureau. What I want to see here, though, is just quietly in the background and in industrial parks that we build out, advanced manufacturing and distribution companies serving California and the Pacific Rim. I mean, there are European countries that would like to border California. Let's be honest. We have that opportunity here. And effectively, you wouldn't put all of your investments into one stock. You want a diversified portfolio. So I want to diversify and hedge this economy in those industries.
So your advice to anybody that's in the workforce development industry or business would be to focus on?
Well, we've got to look at where we're going.
Okay.
I saw statistics that we expect 750,000 people to move here. Now, I am a proud Clevelander. I love Ohio and Cleveland, but there are not 750,000 people moving to Cleveland. And so we've got to be ready for that because we're not going to stop them at the border.
Right.
Baby boomers are going to retire here. We're going to have immigrants follow their family to build a future here. People from the north are going to want to be in the Sun Belt. And so we've really got to look at our future demographics and prepare for it.
Well, thank you so much. This has been a really fun interview. I always enjoy my conversations with you. You're a great blend. He's a great blend of common sense and philosophy and academia and history. So I always learn.
I enjoy working with you, and I think you're going to be the transformative leader here in Southern Nevada.
Okay, let's do it together.
Along
with Workforce Connections and Jaime
Along with
Cruz.
Workforce Connections and Jaime.
We'll take him with us too.
Yes, absolutely.
Because he's just so fun.
Yes, he is.
All right. So. Well, thank you so much, and thank you for spending time with us on our Workforce Connections podcast. All right, Director Brown, we have a few questions for you just to get to know you a little better, the person behind GoEd. Your favorite car?
I like Mercedes-Benz.
Ooh, your favorite food?
I like Japanese food. Japanese food, yeah.
Your favorite book?
Oh my gosh.
I know that's a hard one for you, huh?
That's a tough one. I've got so many. The most influential book that I read is a book that's called Generations, A History of America's Future.
Ooh.
It's a little out of date now, but predicted most of what's happened in the last 40 years.
Your favorite sport to watch?
I'm a rower, and while rowing is a terribly boring sport to watch, it's an indoor volleyball.
Your favorite football team?
Oh, the Raiders.
Well, that was a good answer. Yeah. Your favorite hockey team?
The Golden Knights. What else would I say?
Who'd have guessed? Your favorite musical artist or group?
Oh, I was born tone deaf, so this is not something that I think a lot about. But, if you were to go on my dial, you would find that I'd be listening to the 80s and sometimes even the 70s.
Yeah?
So, yeah.
Any particular?
No, not really. I guess I'm a big fan of Jules, though. And I've met her a couple times, and I'm a big fan of hers.
Well, now I'm going to be a fan of hers, too. Yeah. Favorite city to visit?
Well, I get back to Washington, D.C., where I'm from. I like to go there a lot. But if I really just have time, I like to go to London.
All right. Got some choices here. Home cook meal or takeout?
Oh, a home cook. Yeah.
Cruising in a muscle car or a convertible?
A convertible.
Me too. Travel by car or plane?
Train, if I had the opportunity.
Good job. Work remote or in the office?
I am actually one of those people that likes to be in the office.
Justice or grace?
Grace.
Actions or words?
Actions. Move fast, think quickly.
I know that about you. Yeah. Vacation or staycation?
Vacation is a foreign concept to me.
Does not surprise me. Yeah. Nights or mornings?
Nights. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to finish this sentence. Not many people know Michael likes to...
I think everyone in Las Vegas knows that I'm a rower at this point, but we will still come back to that fact. Right. So,
if Michael could travel to any city in the world, it would be?
It would be back to London.
Yeah.
Yeah, back to London.
3 words that describe Michael are?
Striking creative balance.
Michael's biggest joy in life is... You can't say rowing again.
I know, I can't say rowing again. I like it when I bring an issue across the line and we've won it. And then, like Harry Reid, I just move on to the next issue. I don't really pause, but there's this moment when you think, okay, we've won that. And then move on to the next matter.
Love it. Doing the WC podcast today was?
Oh, delightful.
Yeah,
just delightful.
Well, so were you.
Thank you.